Hello. This is about the third attempt I've had to try and do a video of my garden. I thought it would be a good idea to do a little video for the gardening club at work, just to show you a little bit about what I do in my spare time and to get the ball rolling. So, hello. This is my garden. In terms of style, it's a little bit higgledy-piggledy. Some might say cluttered. I like to collect little bits and bobs just to add to the garden itself. Never knowingly thrown anything away. This is my shed, so you can see I've got my collection of little bird houses. They're not really, it's a shame the birds don't nest in them, but they're not in the right place for birds to nest in them. But they are very pretty nonetheless. There's an old bathtub there, it's enamel, which has actually come from my mum's house. So I was very lucky in that when my mum moved from her bungalow into her new retirement flat, I managed to inherit an awful lot of pots from her. And these lovely stone pots were from her garden. So I planted them up this year. Hopefully I've managed to do a good job. I think they're pretty anyway. You can see in this one I've got hardy geranium and some petunias, and there's some trailing geraniums which are not a hardy, obviously. They're going to be coming out soon, and there's obviously some ivy, and then there's all sorts of other odds and sods really in there, all on a theme of purple and pink. And this one is a sort of a silver collection. I love these little, I can't remember the name of them, I can find out the name, but these are fantastic. They flower and flower and flower right the way through to the first frosts, and you don't even have to deadhead them. I love them. You can see an awful lot of my plants are planted up in sort of galvanised pots and tin baths and things like that. I've got a big collection of tin baths. I just think they would just set off the flowers really well, and they just sort of fit in with the general mood of my garden. This is an old gazebo, which we don't use as a gazebo anymore, but because it was too much of a faff to keep putting up and taking down, to be honest. And one day the wind got a bit strong and it took off and blew over into my neighbour's garden nearly. So we decided to retire it, but we couldn't be doing with taking it all apart and taking it to the tip. So we've just moved it, and it sort of frames this border now and gives it a bit of height, and also gives me somewhere to put some hanging baskets, so I had a bit of colour throughout the summer as well. This was a happy accident, this area. So it's a gravel area. It was originally all patio when I first moved in. It was really ugly. It was the classic sort of narrow border at the side of the house, at the side of the boundaries, and there's a massive patio here all the way up there. I think we took up about 70 odd patio slabs, and originally I wanted to lawn this, but when we started to raise the patio and dig through some of the hardcore, we discovered that there was actually the foundations of quite a substantial brick building there, and we don't know what it was, whether it was a coal house or a bomb shelter. We have no idea, but it was far too big for me to break up. So and I realised obviously that lawn wouldn't go on top of it, so I've actually gravelled, and I like that. I like there's a different little gravel garden, and of course now I get annuals and other plants seeding into it, so it sort of adds to it. So it's quite like a little secret garden. You can see there I've got some Love in the Mist, which is self-seeded, so that's really, really pretty. And this border is just my lovely, everything in here flowers in that border. It's all about the flowers. It's and I try and have it so that there's something new for every part of the season. So as things disappear, new things to take over. So the alliums have gone, and the poppies are just going over. Foxgloves are they're just at probably just past their best now. But I've got daylilies and salvia. I've got some I can't remember what they're called, penstemons. And obviously some cosmos coming up, so that's quite nice. And I've got my roses, which we had a heavy rain shower earlier, and they're all full up with water and heavy, so I'm going to have to come out and prune a lot of them. So you'll see that my garden is split up into different sections, and this is the sort of the top section. This is all I wanted to show you for today. But yeah, so that's my introduction to my garden. There you go. Okay then, bye.